Good morning to you all. We're going to start the conference, the fourth MIT Portugal Program Conference. And I would like to address myself to the members at the table. Professor João Gabriel Silva, Rector of the University of Coimbra, Professor António Cunha, Rector of the University of Minho, and the representative of the Council of Rectors of the MIT Portugal Program Governing Committee. Professor Luís Godinho, Vice Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology, Doutora Ana Reis, representing the Vice President of the Science and Technology Foundation. Dear colleagues and dear students, it is an honor for me to open this fourth MIT Portugal conference and to welcome you to the University of Coimbra and to the Faculty of Science and Technology. The motto of our conference this year is not an innocent one, or just another commonplace to sound nice and look fancy. Our new frontiers have two possible meanings. On one hand, they mean the limits of knowledge that we have the responsibility to permanently push forward. And on the other hand, they mean the imaginary lines that we have to cross to transfer knowledge and technology innovation to the real economy. This is not without a purpose, however, which means that sustainable prosperity, the other part of our motto, is our goal. We assume the obligation to contribute to progress and well-being in the long term, and I mean long. Only prosperity may be sustainable because it does not necessarily require constant growth. So the motto is meant to be a challenge that may echo in our heads for the time to come, and also in the short term, a challenge meant to influence our working sessions and guide our discussions today. The University of Coimbra has a respectable track record on innovation fostering and on incubating new business ideas into real companies. Now, at present and recently, also filling an additional stage, that one of accelerating companies' development. The conference is therefore a good and virtuous combination between a spot and a motto. A spot where consistently new businesses and value are encouraged and supported, and the conference motto loaded with hope for the future. The conference was made possible by the contributions of many that I am forced to not mention exhaustively. To begin with, the university itself, in particular, and I take the freedom to mention one particular person, the Vice Rector, Professor Clara Almeida Santos. The Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology, Professor Luís Neves, here represented by Professor Luís Godinho, the Vice Dean, who has generously helped the project right from the first minute. Silvia Castro and Miguel Carvalho in Lisbon, and João Neto and Ana Ramos in Coimbra, the real workers. For those of you who have age enough to remember the famous Jim Hansen, they are the doozers of this conference. And the wonderful PhD students of the University of Coimbra that helped putting everything together and ready for today. The faculty members of the local organizing committee and all the colleagues generously participating as referees in the poster award competition. The PhD students who submitted 110 abstracts and 82 posters to the conference, providing evidence of the wealth and of the research developed by them within the MIT Portugal program. By the way, the book of abstracts will be shortly sent to all conference participants as a token of the program dynamics and potential. All the guests from academia, from industry, and alumni and students who accepted the invitation to challenge the audience in the discussion panel this morning and in the 3 afternoon sessions on New Frontiers. Lastly, Professor Charles Cunha, who will share his experience and knowledge with us right after this opening session. And of course, the program directors, Professors Dava Newman and Paulo Ferrão. Thank you all for making the conference possible and running. I warmly welcome you now, not the ones I mentioned, to whom I thanked just now. I warmly welcome you and wish we all profit the most of this busy day. Thank you very much. I now give the word to Professor Luís Godinho, Vice Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology.
Thank you. First of all, let me say good morning to everyone, and let me start by addressing the distinguished members of the head table, Professor João Gabriel Silva, Rector of our university, Professor António Cunha, Rector of the University of Minho, Dr. Ana Reis, representative of FCT, and Professor António Gomes Martins, the chairman of this conference. And dear colleagues, I will say just a few brief words in this opening session, because I know that you are not here to listen to me, but to have a full working day. So I'd just like to say that our faculty, the Faculty of Science and Technology of the University of Coimbra, has been involved in this MIT Portugal program, I believe since its beginning. And so it's a pleasure for us to host this 4th MIT Portugal conference here at Polo 2 of our faculty. This faculty is, I believe, the largest in the University of Coimbra, with a number of departments covering classical sciences and also engineering. Here, in this newer campus of Polo 2 of the faculty, is where the engineering departments are located and are concentrated, and where soon we will also have another department, the sciences department. So, given the main areas covered by the MIT Portugal program, which relate to, for example, sustainable energy systems, transportation systems, engineering design, and some others, I believe this is the most adequate settling for hosting this conference in Coimbra. We all know that the MIT Portugal program is nowadays recognized as a top quality initiative, which has up to now produced outputs of excellence in all covered fields. And in these times in which younger people, mostly younger people, seem to be avoiding engineering courses, we feel that this type of initiatives can bring some more attractiveness and can help us changing this scenario. So we expect, obviously, this conference to be a big success, and the FCTUC, our faculty, will make every effort so that each participant can feel at home here in our main building and can enjoy this day in the best possible manner. Obviously, we all will be very attentive to the outputs that will come from the conference, and so I'd like to finish mentioning that you're obviously welcome to Polo 2 of the faculty, and wishing all participants an excellent and fruitful conference. Thank you.
I now give the word to Dr. Ana Reis, if you please, from National Science Foundation.
Good morning to all of you. It's my pleasure to be here and representing the Dr. Pedro Carneiro, that unfortunately was not able to attend the conference. But I want everybody to know that we are, at FCT, we are full committed to the program, and we hope the program can achieve the best results that it can ever make it. So, like you all know, since 2006, FCT is supporting international partnerships, the collaboration between the American universities and the Portuguese universities. And we are already in the second phase. And we have a strong financial effort from the government, and some cards were made, but we are hoping that the program can make good work and still be really committed to all the objectives of the PhDs, of human resources, and the projects. I just want to say some small words about what we are expecting from this conference. We are hoping that the conference can make the goals expected by FCT for the second phase, where ideas can be realistic, translated into commercial impact, benefiting Portugal. where the new frontiers can be discussed in science and engineering, feeding the national and international innovation process. And finally, I'm sure that MIT Portugal program will continue contributing to the fast-moving Portuguese ecosystem of science and innovation to social prosperity. So, a good conference to all of us, and we hope I will transmit it to the FCT board and to everybody in FCT what the MIT Portugal program is doing and what are the objectives and goals for the future. Thank you.
Professor António Cunha, Rector of the University of Minho, if you please.
Dear Rector João Gabriel Silva, dear colleagues of this panel, dear directors of the MIT Portugal program, dear participants of this MIT Portugal conference, it is of course a pleasure to be here and to be involved in the MIT Portugal program. This is a journey of almost 8 years now in this second phase, considering the 6 years of the first one. And this has been a very interesting and a very fruitful journey, building an effective partnership between Portugal, Portuguese universities and MIT. Of course, this program is about research, is about oriented research and research, high-quality research, but with clear purpose and clear objectives. This project is about advanced training, and advanced training in these areas of engineering, of course, has to be training very well coupled with research activity and with knowledge development. And we have already more than 500 people already involved in the PhD programs of this initiative. Yes, one of the major goals of this partnership and one of the major objectives for Portuguese universities in this link with MIT is to improve, to develop our ways of being more effective with the knowledge we produce, with how to get value out of the knowledge we produce in all our research activities. The Portuguese universities should be proud about the development and all the way we have done so far in being more effective with the research activity we developed. One of the very nice examples, as already referred, is of course this University of Coimbra, and all the incubation activity that is made in this institution. But this is an area where we could not ever be satisfied, and we know that although in relative terms the advances in the last years has been quite interesting, there is a long way to go, and the experience of MIT in this area is of course an example, and we have still too much to learn and too much to improve in being more effective with the way we use the knowledge we produce in our institutions. So we do believe that continuing in this track and continuing with this collaboration, we will foster new ways of showing how to use engineering, new technologies, and to develop new frontiers that, in the end of the day, are supposed to contribute to a better society, to a better way of living, and to a better world. Thank you very much.
Professor João Gabriel Silva, Rector of the University of Coimbra.
Well, good morning to everyone. I would like to start by greeting my colleagues at this table, in particular the chair of the conference, Professor António Martins, and all the work that has been done to put this to work. Also, I'd like to greet the program directors and in general all the participants of the program. It's really a pleasure and an honor to host at this university this conference. We've been from the beginning very active participants of the program. I myself have been quite involved in it in the early days, not so much now because of different duties that I took in the meantime, but it's still, I still have the same view that it's really a very, very relevant initiative that has to be used to the fullest, and because it corresponds completely to the priorities that we identify at this university of what universities should do. You know, you are very welcome here at this very old university. We are 724 years old this year. We'll be 7 centuries and a quarter next year. We'll do some commemoration because of that. And one of the things that we always have to take very clear to our minds is that for an institution to be able to last this long, it has to be able to do a very difficult exercise, which is being relevant to the society all this time, all this period. This is not an easy exercise, and it requires us to be able to understand the needs of that society. Certainly knowledge as a value in itself, this is our main duty, to be able to transfer knowledge in all directions, certainly in first place to the students, to preserve knowledge, to develop knowledge. And really this is what it is all about in the MIT program, in the MIT Portugal program. We want to develop new knowledge. Research is certainly the focus, the main aspect of all the initiative. We have to be able to transmit that knowledge to the students and to society. As has already been said before, I'm not going to repeat it. The University of Cunha has taken this role very seriously. We have a lot of initiatives and results in this area, and we understand and we consider this program to be a very strong help in this direction. We also know some other things from our roots, because although in the Middle Ages, when the University of Portugal, actually it was called at that time, was initially founded in Lisbon, then a few years afterward transferred to Coimbra, and then it went back and forth for a while until it settled in the 16th century in Coimbra. But although we are speaking of Middle Ages, where communications were hard, from the onset, almost every student had to go through different universities before he graduated, in spite of difficulties of travel at that time. So everything was done in a network already at that time. Very few students would stay at the same university during all their studies. So we, from the beginning, know that we have to work together with our partners, with other people interested in the same subjects, working towards the same goals. And obviously the world has become a bit wider, a bit larger than it was at that time, and so it's absolutely natural. It would be strange for us not to be doing the same thing today, or even more so. So this collaboration between the Portuguese universities, and in this case the MIT, is just a natural development of what we've been doing all these centuries long. And so this conference in particular corresponds completely to the goals and mission of the University of Coimbra, I would say of the universities, certainly of the universities in Portugal. And so I just would like to wish you all, as certainly to all the participants from my universities, from Portuguese universities and from MIT, to be able to get the most of this conference and in the end feel that knowledge has been pushed a bit further, just some steps. We have met some new colleagues to work on the subjects we are working on, and really looking forward to the next year and the next conference, where we have the feeling of being able to pursue and be successful in this quest for knowledge that really is what we are always trying, with this very clear sense of having to make an impact also on the economic activity of the country, which is something we really, particularly now and particularly in Portugal, certainly feel is very central. So the best conference to you all. Thank you.